Alright everybody, I think we should be live. Let me just double check on YouTube. As with last time, I don't know if... I feel like if I try to look into the YouTube channel too quickly, I won't be ahead of... Okay, there we go. Audio test is working. If I look into it too early, I run into the issue of it being the stream delay doesn't quite work. I'm starting a little bit later today than I would have liked, but that's all right. We've got just a few things to go on our... we're ranking our 100 movies right now, and we're going to get into Chapter 9 of Resident Evil 4 after that. And I think Chapter 9 is kind of a long one, so we're going to do this pretty quick. Warlock. I don't know if I've ever seen Warlock. It looks like it has a cool poster, though. So we're going to throw it in. Haven't seen, but want to. Warlock. I can't read the lower word. The Armageddon. The Annihilator. I don't know. We'll throw that with the first one. It also actually has an okay-looking, kind of classic poster to me. Oh, I should mention... Our audio for the moment, for the start of the stream, is 1964's The Last Man on Earth, starring Vincent Price. We brought it up earlier in this very list, talking about the movie I Am Legend, because I Am Legend is the third adaptation of the Richard Matheson, I think it's Richard Matheson is the name of the writer, story of that name, I Am Legend. Last Man on Earth was the first adaptation. Omega Man with Charlton Heston was the second, and then I Am Legend the third. Last Man on Earth is probably the most accurate of the three, and is a nice little film, also public domain. When a Stranger Calls, the original, I've not seen, but looks like a great poster, so we throw it and want to. When a Stranger Calls, the remake, not such a good poster, so probably pretty neutral to it. I don't remember when it came out what it is, like whether or not it was a good one. I don't think it was. I remember the trailer for it quite well, actually, but I don't recall if it was considered a good remake or not. Wicker Man 1973, I'm going to throw under actually good. We'll throw it on the high end of middle, I think. Wicker Man 1973, great film, very influential. Big influence, of course, on Midsommar, which we see under the outstanding category. But the original Wicker Man is a strange film. It's very interesting. People sometimes jokingly call it a musical. I don't know if I would personally categorize it as such, though there is... music is an important part of the film. It's very eerie. It's very... I think it's quite effective. It's a slow burn. If you aren't into slow burn horror films, you're going to have trouble with The Wicker Man. It's not as kind of excruciatingly, intentionally torturous as something like Rosemary's Baby, nor is it, it's not that kind of like Beyond the Black Rainbow, like creeping dread thing. It's trying to be, but with kind of the awkwardness of 1970s cinema in the sort of transition to modernity that was happening in the late 1960s and early 1970s in cinema. It hadn't quite figured it out yet, and you get a lot of this kind of awkward slowness in horror films, I think, of the 70s. So if you don't like that, Wicker Man might be a trouble for you, but I do still think it's actually good and worth seeing. The Wicker Man remake, which we have here with Nicolas Cage, much memed film. If you've never seen Wicker Man remake, you have almost certainly, if you've been on the internet enough, seen memes about Nicolas Cage's Wicker Man. There's a lot of like reaction gifs and things I would say it's maybe worth seeing. It's not a particularly good movie, but it is quite funny. It is Cage's performance is hilarious. He just really is like all in on the complete ridiculousness of what is playing out. I don't think it's a particularly good remake of the original. It's not horrible either. I'm not, I wouldn't kick it down into the probably not worth seeing films. I think it's between being funny and having a few sequences that have some decent visuals in them. Um, it's not the worst way to spend an afternoon if you want to watch kind of a hammy Nicolas Cage performance. Um, yeah. So yeah. I don't know. I had fun with this one. I saw it in theaters with friends. It was hilarious. You know, check it out if knowing that it is like I said, knowing that it is a bit hammy. Everything above it I think is a little bit more. Everything above it in this list is skews towards like legitimate. It's maybe one of the only ones in this tier up, from the top of this tier down that I would say is kind of in the so bad it's good territory. But nevertheless, I think it's still worthy. Like there's actually a few things in the almost in the actually good section that are in many regards hammier. Like Malignant is incredibly hammy, cheesy, whatever you want to say, whatever food metaphor communicates that it's not conventionally good, but nevertheless I think you can sort of render from it enjoyment, both aesthetic and otherwise. Willard. I guess I didn't notice that this was on here. I quite like Willard. I had this movie on DVD. I don't have it on Blu-ray. I don't have my DVD anymore, but it was one that I liked enough to physically buy a copy of at one point. Starring the fabulous Crispin Glover, of course, known as George McFly from the original Back to the Future. He did not play George McFly in the sequels. Glover has this reputation of being this weirdo who's hard to work with. This is my understanding that it's sort of like a smear campaign against him, and it's not actually true. Apparently, he's actually a pretty cool guy, pretty nice guy. He is kind of an art house weirdo, but his tangles with the kind of Hollywood A-list producer set that was involved with the Back to the Future sequels, they deliberately kind of sought to smear his name. Basically, they he didn't want to be in the sequels. As I understand it, I think he was either mistreated or there were some issues with the first film. He didn't like the ending to the first film either because he felt like it I love Back to the Future, so this isn't necessarily my opinion, but I think he has some correctness in his attitude in saying that he felt like the ending of the first Back to the Future made it as though there was some, like, it was too materialistic or something. Like, Marty is not rewarded just with the fact that his parents are happier or that he's happier or something, but that, like, his parents are rich, and it, like, kind of associates, like, financial success with personal success or something like that. And he didn't like that, and there were maybe some other tangles at play, and it resulted in him not being in the Back to the Future sequels. And my general understanding is that they, after cutting him out, they both recast. They like did everything possible to kind of show him but not show him, and it's a really weird choice because they also recast the girlfriend, and they just recast the girlfriend with another actress, and nobody cares. They could have just recast George as the different actor, but they kind of like went out of their way to obscure him in a way that perpetually kind of makes it seem like it is him. And he ended up, I believe, suing them basically for using his likeness by kind of obscuring things as if to indicate he was in the film. And I think that lawsuit is why he kind of, I don't think he got blacklisted from Hollywood exactly, but he got sort of gray listed. He got kind of pushed to the fringes and was treated as a problem. Um, but nevertheless, I think a very talented, interesting person. Willard, I think this was actually a remake of I think that there was like a 1950s or 1960s Willard film. I might be completely off on that. I might just be making that up. But basically, man who communes with rats ends up, when everything goes wrong, ends up using those rats to exact revenge upon his enemies, the people who did wrong by him. I think it's kind of on the low end of actually good or high end of maybe worth seeing. It's a cool movie. I've not been motivated to rewatch it really, but you know why not? We'll throw it on the low end of actually good. Again, I liked it enough to buy the DVD. I don't know if I really consider it much of a horror film, but again, it's tied with enough horror trappings to occupy such a place. Willy's Wonderland, I have not seen. This is a recent Nicolas Cage. This is part of like the Nicolas Cage renaissance of the past few years. This is also kind of cashing in on like Five Nights at Freddy's. This is like an off-brand Five Nights at Freddy's film before Five Nights at Freddy's actually got a movie starring Nicolas Cage. This is after like Mandy and Color Out of Space. Like Nicolas Cage was really on this like string of indie, not fully prestige, but still quite respectable horror films. Mandy and Color Out of Space, maybe a little bit more edging towards being prestige. Mandy especially. Willy's Wonderland, maybe not so much, but I think it got reasonably okay reception, and that string of films was quite good. I am a little surprised Mandy's not on here. I feel like Mandy really made a splash when it came out. And so, yeah, I'm a little surprised it's not on here. I feel like if Mandy were on here, I would definitely be throwing Mandy into the actually good and probably like in the middle of the actually good section. Color Out of Space, I liked. I would probably put it in maybe worth seeing or on the lower end of actually good. I don't think it's a particularly good adaptation of the short story. Color Out of Space is like one of the best Lovecraft short stories. I highly recommend reading it. I think it's one of his smartest. I think it's one of his most interesting. We brought it up in episode 3 of this series when we were on the lake. I talk about Color Out of Space is very much kind of a perfect summation of the alienness of radiation and likens cosmic horror and curses to the effects of radiation in a way that I think is like very effective. Winchester, I have not seen. I don't know this. It's an okay looking poster, so we'll throw it under want to watch. I presume it's about the Winchester Mansion, very famous story of the gun manufacturer Winchester. His widow starts building this mansion. She's terrified of ghosts, starts building all of these dead ends and stairs that go nowhere and doors that open up into pits, things like this. I presume that's what it's based on. I can't confirm because I haven't seen it. Wish Upon, I don't know what this is. I'm not particularly won over by the poster. We throw that in neutral. Wishmaster, I've never seen anything from this series. I'm going to throw it in the middle. Wishmaster never caught my eye as being all that interesting. Yeah. If anyone knows anything about the Wishmaster films and you can tell me, I mean, this is true of anything from haven't seen neutral or haven't seen probably not gonna. If I'm way wrong about any of these, if anyone's watching this and is like, oh, I can't believe you put this there. Like if you're telling me, oh, I can't believe you put mirrors in neutral or Apollo 18, some of the ones that I really know nothing about, like I know nothing about Old Man. I know nothing about Smiley. I know nothing about Stay Alive or Sweetheart. um, uh, the Critters films, the Critters sequels, I should say. Um, Fear Street. There's a lot of these that I don't know, and if anyone knows them and thinks that I'm wrong to have them in probably not going to see or neutral, let me know, and I might throw them in the haven't seen, want to. And I'm going to hold on to this list, mind you, and I'm definitely going to run through some of these, and maybe again, if we hold on to the list, I will let you all know what my thoughts are, where these float up to the top. And there's some that I might even prioritize seeing, like Maniac Cop. I've never seen, and I do think is kind of up my alley. Maximum Overdrive, same. Paranormal Activity. We've said, one of the big ones that I haven't seen, one of the biggest. And, there's a few of these that I'll report back in on when we have the chance. The Witch. Not The Vitch. It's the stylization with 2 V's. Some people get annoyed by. I like it. I don't care. The Witch is outstanding. The Witch is outstanding. I prefer The Lighthouse of Dave Eggers' output, but this was his first film, of course. I don't know where precisely to put it. We'll probably put it, reasonably high. The Witch is a very good film. I can't imagine myself rewatching it very often, but I really like The Witch. I think it's like a really, really, really good movie, and it's part of kind of the early waves of the prestige horror renaissance, and it deservedly got great attention. It deservedly launched Dave Eggers' career, and if you haven't seen it, check it out. It is very much a slow burn horror film, though. So, if you're not into the slow burn stuff, be aware. But I think it has, besides the fact that it's a slow burn horror film, I think it has one of the most oppressive atmospheres of dread of anything we can talk about in this section. Like more so than Midsummer. It's really in a small zone, kind of along with I would say Green Room. Green Room's different though, because Green Room has more active peril to it. In terms of the oppressive atmosphere of dread, the Witch might be ahead of like almost everything. It follows, I don't think, is dread. It's eeriness and paranoia. But The Witch is like, it's up there with Rosemary's Baby, like the first third-ish of Barbarian, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Really suffocating film. It's amazing how intensely it can make you feel things whilst nothing is happening. Benicio del Toro's The Wolfman. This is supposed to be part of the dark universe that we talked about with Tom Cruise's The Mummy and Elizabeth Moss's Invisible Man. I've not seen it. I kind of want to. I think it got kind of mediocre to bad reception, but I love Benicio del Toro. I don't think it got such bad reception that people are blaming it for the fall of the dark universe or anything. I think The Mummy was a much worse film, but it didn't get particularly good reception either, as best I recall. The Wolfman, the original. I think it's kind of middle of the pack for the classic horror films. I don't think it's quite as good as like the OG Frankenstein, which we have quite high. OG Frankenstein, Bride of Frankenstein, we have those up there, doing pretty well. I think it's maybe a little bit better than OG Dracula. I'll throw it in maybe worth seeing. It's an okay film. If you're not familiar with filmmaking of this era, you might, we'll put it with Dracula. If you're not familiar with films of this era, I would say, you might not love it. But it's fine. I think it's a decent film. Its vibes aren't as impressive as something like Creature from the Black Lagoon or Frankenstein, but it's solid. Woman in Black. I've never with Daniel Radcliffe apparently. I've never seen Woman in Black the movie. I've actually seen Woman in Black the stage play. Uh, Not with Daniel Radcliffe either, but Woman in Black was a stage play. I think first. I think it was a stage play before it was a film. I saw it with my parents. I must have been when I was a teenager. I remember the play being all right. A horror stage play is not the natural thing you think of, but it was quite effective as a stage play. I don't know if it would translate to being a film, but the stage play I thought was nice. Yeah, a funny thing, on a family trip to London, we saw The Woman in Black and The Woman in White, which were showing simultaneously during an overlapping period in London on a family trip. Ghost story movie, not typically my thing, but World War Z. Probably a controversial and hot take. I think it's maybe worth seeing. I don't know if I really want to put it under actually good. World War Z is an interesting and troubled film. I could really talk about it for a long time. I don't know if I want to get quite mired in the long rant that we could talk about with World War Z. I read Zombie Survival Guide before World War Z had even been written as its own book. I read World War Z as a book long before World War Z as a movie had ever been greenlit. There's a lot of common internet discourse around the World War Z film that I don't necessarily think is wrong, but I often think is kind of disinteresting. The common thing being like, well, World War Z shouldn't have been a movie, or the movie so totally failed to adapt the book. The book should have been adapted to an HBO series. It should have been like an anthology series or something like that. I don't disagree with any of that. I don't think it's interesting, though. I don't think it actually addresses what the film is. And what the film is a kind of low end of good zombie film that could have actually been a great zombie film, but is really held back by a few really bad choices, which is unfortunate because I think that, like, if you kind of completely strip it of the World War Z name and you just make it its own zombie film, I think people would have had a much more positive reception of it. And B, I think we could have more productive dialogue about what the film's strengths and weaknesses are. I think the thing that's most interesting about it is it is kind of like the fastest of the fast zombie films. And I'm not mega huge into the fast zombie films per se, but I love the degree to which it pushed that to an extremity that is actually kind of disgusting and like alien. And the zombies, it doesn't make sense. Like, it doesn't physically make sense, but like the zombies in the World War Z film, let's actually look at them. Zombies, World War Z movie. Oh, sorry, flashbang with bright screen. I have yeah, so here we go. This is the thing that I think is like really, really cool, is that zombies in the movie, it's not something that I don't think ever gets described in the book. But in the movie, they do this thing that they start climbing on each other like ants. And they like, it's really eerie and really, really gross and really it's really disturbing that they're like feverish desperation to get at humans has them do this thing that's very, very bug swarm like. And yeah, you got it with this image that showed up sometimes in the promotions of them like taking down a helicopter. And I actually think it's like really, really cool and really, really alien. And I don't know. It's a bummer that this wasn't in a better film. Because it is like kind of a disturbing visual, and in the same thing, yeah, there's these sequences in these really narrow streets where the sprinting zombies, they're like tripping over each other, they're running over each other, they're like they're like a tidal wave. They are like a tidal wave of bodies. It's really horrifying. Like it's actually like a really really good visual. Um, and it's a bummer that the movie makes some like really crucial missteps that keep it from being a good film. This sequence, there's a sequence on a plane that's completely ludicrous, but I again like I wish, like, it's audacious enough that I kind of wish it had been in a better film. There's a handful of these like all these good points in the movie that I just wish had been a better movie. And that's all I can really say about it before, unless we get into like video essay territory. Wrong Turn, I don't really know anything about. This makes me think it's a different film. This looks like a monster movie. It looks kind of like Hills Have Eyes, more than what I thought it was, which I thought was just a serial killer movie. I'm gonna throw it under neutral. I don't particularly care. I still have the impression it's a serial killer movie, and I don't know if I care that much. Wrong Turn, presumably a remake or a reboot. A much much better poster. Also makes me think monster, or at least people who are taking on kind of monstrous visage. We throw it under neutral, but this is a great poster. Good job, remake crew, for doing such a thing. Your next, was this on my? Oh, it didn't. Did it not save? Or did it save my reorder? It didn't save my reorder. I think we put this in the flashbang. Sorry everyone. I think we put this in the not on this list, or we skipped over it because I wasn't sure if it was on this list or not. I haven't seen Your Next. It kind of fits into this, again, serial killer thing that I'm not as inclined to pursue these films compared to others. Again, like Cry Wolf. I think Cry Wolf is actually supposed to be good. I might even kick Cry Wolf up into want to see, but yeah, it doesn't. I'm not motivated to see a film about a serial killer, really. Zombieland films, I would say, aren't. I would say they aren't actually horror movies. They're comedies. There's plenty of horror comedies that aren't on this list, so it's kind of strange to me that these are on the list. We talked about Shaun of the Dead not being on here, the various Return of the Living Deads. Biozombie is not on here, which is like a Japanese homage to Dawn of the Dead. We don't have Dead Next Door. We don't have, let's see, we don't have, Zombie Stoners, is that what it's called? We don't have, there's a lot of zombie comedies out there. It's like a really common form. So I'm kind of surprised this one of all ones. We don't have Fido. We talked about Fido. We don't have. I guess it wasn't as much of a comedy. Warm Bodies, which was like a zombie romantic comedy, I guess. It's strange that these. I guess they're the biggest of the zombie comedy comeback. Dead Alive by Peter Jackson, aka Brain Dead's not on here. Neither is any of his horror comedy stuff. I've seen the original Zombieland. It's on I think it's on the low end of actually good. I know people love it. I think it is good. I can't really deny it and say that it's not good, but I've never been motivated to rewatch it, and I was never motivated to watch the sequel because it's an okay, slightly too meta, slightly too genre aware, kind of smug millennial um, smug millennial take on the zombie genre. I don't know if I don't hate it. Again, like it's fine, but I don't know. It feels insincere to me. Um, that's it, everybody. We just completed our list. We have a lot of movies we've talked about that aren't on here. We have let's see how many we haven't seen of the approximate 500 on here. So we have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 per 11 columns per row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And that is a perfect 13th because Cry Wolf would round out this spot. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 23 and a half. So we haven't seen almost half this list, which is more than I thought. Out of 500, we hypothetically haven't seen. Let's see, what was it? It was 23 and a half times 11 is let's see, 23 times, no, pardon me, 23.5 times 11 equals 258. Yeah. So yeah, approximately half. I don't feel bad about that. I feel reasonable about the choices of what I haven't seen. Sorry. Oh, I guess, yeah. I'm not going to apologize for having not seen Jeepers Creepers 3 or the extended Puppet Masters sequels, Fantasy Island, Cursed. I don't know. I don't particularly care about these things. I'm bummed out. I would love to catch up on some of these, and there are in fact quite a few films that are not on this list that I'm really surprised have not shown up. So like, let's look up a list of best zombie movies, for example, which is the genre that I'm probably subgenre, I should say, that I'm most familiar with. 100 best zombie movies of all time. Let's see what we got on here. One Cut of the Dead's not on the list. Quite good. Shaun of the Dead wasn't on the list. Also outstanding. Blood Quantum, I don't know at all, but apparently good. I might have to add that to my list. Dead Alive, again, Peter Jackson horror comedy. Surprising it's not on there. Paranorman, fabulous. I'm not surprised it's not on there, but fabulous horror movie for kids. 28 years later, maybe too new or something to be on there. I thought it was great. I know a lot of people didn't, but I thought it was great. Night Eats the World, I haven't seen, but we've talked about. Apparently, Autopsy of Jane Doe is a zombie movie. I didn't realize that. That makes me more interested. Girl with All the Gifts, quite good. I like Girl with All the Gifts. Corpse Bride isn't a horror movie. We'll skip it. I Walked with a Zombie. Oh yeah, it's strange that that's not on there, huh? It's on. It's a good one. I don't think it's great. Pontypool is outstanding. Like actually outstanding. Pontypool is so good. Not on the list. Overlord, very good. Not on the list. Warm Bodies, okay. Not on the list. Little Monsters, yeah, lesser known Lupita Nyong'o film. And Josh Gad, I guess. I guess I forgot Josh Gad was in it, but yeah, that's Lupita Nyong'o. Little Monsters, I rather liked. I thought it was fine. Not on the list. And on the Apocalypse is okay. Never seen Cockneys versus Zombies. Not on the list, but we talked about it. Wild Zero, awesome. Not on the list. Resident Evil, there's 4 of the CGI films. The fact that this is as high as it is on the list is shocking to me. Damnation is not, does not, to, should not be that high. We Are Zombies, I don't know. Friend of the World, we don't know. Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island, great horror movie for kids. I don't necessarily think it belongs on the list, but hey. Zombie for Sale, I don't know. Alive, I don't know. Mr. Vampire, I don't know. Let Sleeping Corpses Lie. Awesome one. This is this is Living Dead at Manchester Morgue. Correct? Um, this is the American title, I believe, for Living Dead at Manchester Morgue. Great, loved it. Had a really fun time with it the other week. White Zombie, pretty cool. One of the Dead, not great, but whatever. If sure, fine. Um, Dead Snow films. I'm surprised the Dead Snows aren't on there. Yeah, those got some buzz as zombie comedies. Yeah, zombie Nazis. Norwegian films, I believe, as memory serves. Um, Last Man on Earth. We're listening to the audio right now, folks. Night of the Comet, love it. Surprised it's not on there. Demons and Night of the Demons weren't on there, were they? Night of the Creeps wasn't on there. It's great. Crazy's remake wasn't on there. Fido we talked about. Final Cut we talked about, I believe. This is a weird list. Sorry, everybody. Not the best way for me to make my point. Army of the Dead not on there. Also, weird one. I would have thought Army of the Dead, again, it's big. Zack Snyder. I have a lot to say about Army of the Dead. We'll get to it another day. Original Dead Snow, not the sequel. Cemetery Man, classic, great. Shocking it's not on the list. Serpent in the Rainbow, I think quite good. Surprising it's not on the list. Diary of the Dead by Romero, we talked about. Shocking, Day of the Dead is at 61%. Shameful. Shameful. Death Becomes Her, not a horror movie, but fabulous. Also shameful, 58%. Return of the Living Dead 3, we talked about, fabulous. Beyond Reanimator, we talked about. Dead Don't Die, I do want to see. Jim Jarmusch film. I'm surprised it's not on there. Pride and Prejudice and Zombies. Never saw this one, but it's kind of on my list of things to see. Rec 3 Genesis wasn't on the list. This poster makes me kind of want to see it. That's an interesting. I didn't expect the series to go that way. Okay. Zombie 2, 43% shameful. Belongs on the list. Zombie 3, Zombie 4, Zombie 5 all belong on the list. Shameful that they're not on there. Bride of Reanimator we talked about. Yeah, you know what? City of the Living Dead wasn't on there. The entire Hell trilogy by Lucio Fulci wasn't on the list. Not just zombie movies, but you know where I'm at. Okay, this is a bad list to prove my point, but maybe IMDb does better than silly old Rotten Tomatoes. Yeah, Zombie is number 9. Much more deserving of its place. Pontypool number 12. Very deserving of its place. The Beyond, fabulous film, should have been on there. Night of the Living Dead remake, 1990, not on there. Very deserving. Wormwood Road of the Dead, I don't know this, but this was on the other one, so apparently I should add that to my should watch list. Battery also, I guess I'm not familiar with, but I should add. Dead and Buried, very deserving to be on the list. Let's see, what have we got? Anything else that we haven't talked about? Yeah, Nightmare City could be on there. Cooties, I don't know, but I guess maybe I should add. Tombs of the Blind Dead, we've talked about during our playthrough. Video Dead, fabulous. Shockwaves, fun. Poultrygeist, Night of the Chicken Dead. I personally don't like it. I'm surprised it's not on the list though. It's like one of the biggest trauma titles outside of Toxic Avenger. Poultrygeist got some attention when it came out. Okay, well, there's plenty of horror movies to talk to on another day. I gotta get in chapter 9 because it's gonna be a long one, people. It could be. I think it's gonna take well over an hour because if I remember chapter 9 right, it's the multi-branch chapter. We might have to split it up into multiple episodes. We'll see where I'm at in about an hour. And if we have to split this up, so be it. It's just what happens. Streaming late. We alter our screen capture because the game window is now open. Okie dokie. We go back to the game. And it continues to load while I drink water. I click OK. Hedge maze time, everybody.
Luis, where are you?
Sorry, I screwed up. Come to my rescue, Prince Charming.
I'll show you charming, pal.
Come on. I'm in the ballroom past the courtyard. Don't be late to the dance.
Can't believe that guy.
He's in trouble. We can't just leave him, right?
I suppose so. That's very kind of you, Ashley. I think we could leave him. But then again, you know what? He actually has medicine to, you know, halt the advance of Plagas. This is a cool detail. This is like... I don't know if that's a privacy screen or what, but this is like very... it's one of those period-accurate pieces of furniture where you're like, oh, this is a thing I see in historic homes and museums, and I'm just like, I don't know what this was for, but I understand that this is something that a rich person has that I'm too poor to understand. And now I can't go backwards. Yeah, okay. So I can't go backwards because the broken bridge. So the only way we're going to be able to get some of the stuff we missed, like the extra broken butterflies, that we're going to have to wrap around, basically. Is that... Yeah, okay. Gold token. We still haven't been to the elevator thing for a minute, and we've got quite a few tokens. I think we can... Yeah, I mean, we've got at least 2 full gotcha pulls, including an all-gold gotcha pull, which is not anything to sneeze at. But yeah, hedge maze ahead. Undoubtedly, The Shining is something they had in mind when they produced the hedge maze. The Shining was a noted influence on the original Resident Evil, like the disorienting layout of the Overlook Hotel in Stanley Kubrick's The Shining, and the hedge maze outside are frequently noted as an influence. I don't know if I want to waste any bullets right now, even on... I don't know if I'm going to get ammo back, and we've been kind of tight on ammo. I will make shotgun shells real quick. I will make handgun ammo real quick, which makes me a little bit more confident. We should do some reloading real quick before we get in. And I do realize we haven't used our Magnum yet, even a single time, which isn't a bad thing. Like, it's good that we're saving that ammo, but something to be mindful of. Yeah, Kubrick's The Shining was indeed one of the influences. I did end up looking up more trivia about, you know, what influenced the original Resident Evil. And it's a funny thing. There's a notation on Wikipedia that allegedly the original devs of Resident Evil 1 apparently rather did not like Romero's Dawn of the Dead. And it is characterized in places as being like a... like an anti-influence, or like, you know, it's like a reverse influence in a sense. Now I can't remember how this version of... I can't remember how this works. We pull a switch. Okay, we have to unfurl 3 pennants.
Hey, look! The flag's been lowered.
Yes. A little quieter, please, Ashley. We're gonna get jump scared by some dogs at some point in this hedge maze for the sake of it, everybody, so be aware. There's gonna be guys as well. But yeah, I think it's funny. They apparently did not like Dawn of the Dead, and it has been characterized as a film that it's like they almost were deliberately trying to not make it, or like they were like learning from it or something, and that was like specified when they were specifying like the movie. Hello. I think it's been addressed. The Lucio Fulci film Zombie 2, aka Zombie Flesh Eaters, was released under different titles in different territories, right? One second. Let's take a look at this. Okay, so we could... Yes, it makes sense to go this way. Okay. We can explore. So in Italy, it was released as Zombie 2 because they were kind of fraudulently claiming that it was a sequel to George Romero's Dawn of the Dead, which Dawn of the Dead in Italy was released just under the title Zombie. Oh. This isn't the way. Okay, that's fine. We want to explore everything anyway. And it was released in America and some other territories just as Zombie. In England, it was released as Zombie Flesh Eaters, which I think is kind of the best title, at least insofar as that you're not going to confuse it for being a sequel to Dawn of the Dead or... I hear dogs. You're not going to confuse it for being a sequel, nor are you going to confuse it for being Dawn of the Dead, right? Oh, that's them breaking out. Oh, I didn't mean to.
Easier this way.
Wasted a shotgun shell. Not happy about that. I also wasn't trying to let them out. I was trying to kill them in the cage, which I recall as being the method in the original game. But yeah, because Lucio Fulci's Zombie Flesh Eaters goes by Zombie, as does George Romero's Dawn of the Dead. Oh, ow. I was adjusting my headphones with my right hand, so I couldn't... My hand was not on the mouse. I should have paused. So it leads to this confusion, and it leads to these issues. And there was an interview with the Resident Evil devs where they're like, "Oh yeah, we're influenced by the movie Zombie," and the interviewer clarifies, like, they specifically say the Italian film Zombie, And that could mean two things, because, as said, in Italy, Dawn of the Dead was released as zombie, whereas in... but it was not Italian. It was an American film. Whereas Zombie Flesh Eaters is... Zombie Flesh Eaters is unambiguously an Italian film. Anyway, the point is that they had to clarify that they did in fact mean Lucio Fulci's film, not George Romero's film, and that they in fact did not particularly care for Romero's film, which is, as said, kind of funny to me, but among other films cited as an influence, was Stanley Kubrick's The Shining, which I understand. As I mentioned in our tier list, I rather like The Shining. It took me a while to warm up to it. Let's see now. Do we go... Okay, so that brings us back to the center. So we want to go around this way. I think I hear more dogs. Also, sorry, this... Okay. I saw a fountain. Yeah, it took me a while to warm up to it. I still have my issues with it. We talked about that during the tier list, but the hedge maze sequence is I think kind of a fabulous example of
Present for you.
the hedge maze is a fabulous case study insofar as that the hedge maze was not in Spielberg's original film, right? Or if not Spielberg, not film, in Stephen King's. It was not in Stephen King's original book, and he added ow, dang it. Well, I have a yellow herb. I need a red herb. Let's just eat the snake for now. That'll hold us off for a bit. Do I hear another dog? I don't.
Ashley.
Okay.
So I think I can... I hear another dog. I run.
Be careful.
You be careful. You are much more in danger than I am. I think this releases guys.
Now we can finally get out of this maze.
Yep.
Leon! They're here!
Ashley, run!
Get away!
Ba ba ba. How do I get to Ashley quick? I think this is the way.
Leon!
Hold on!
Nope. Stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it. Don't run away with Ashley, please.
No!
Don't run away with Ashley, please. Don't run away with
Put
Ashley,
me down!
please.
Leon, help!
Hang in there!
Dang it. He was... Do I have any flash grenades?
Look away!
That was a messy that was a very messy sequence. Sorry, everybody. I missed so many shots. Oh, and there's still a wolf. Dog. That's like the boss tier one, and I used basically all my stuff. We can go backwards now, though, which is fabulous because that means we can get our free broken butterfly.
Got cocky for a sec.
Yep, I did. That's on me. I screwed up. Sorry. Yeah.
Got some new wares, stranger.
Excellent.
You're in for it. Welcome.
Can you give
I've got
Ashley a
something
gun,
new
please,
for you,
sir?
mate. You'll get some bang
Case
for your
upgrade.
buck.
Thank you.
I get that there's pretty big. Enough to get the job
Tune
done.
up. We repair.
Good luck to you, stranger.
Okay, so yeah, this is the thing where we've unlocked the second set of upgrades to max out the weapon, and then once we have maxed it out, we can
Your
buy a
weapons
ticket
are in good hands,
to
mate. I'll see you right.
get the exclusive. I will not do that for the knife. Attack speed up by 1.5 is not particularly good. I assumed, I guess I didn't remember from my first time around, I would have assumed
Molding
that
a
the
weapon to
exclusive
suit
would have
your
been
specific needs. Oh, it's a thing of beauty.
infinite durability. I would probably consider buying infinite durability.
Give that the care it deserves, mate.
We also have the second set, so increased power by 1.5. So we'll probably get it up to, this will be up to 2.4, then it'll maybe get up to 3 after this. That might be
Your
too big of a
weapons
jump, but
are
that
in
would increase
good
it to 4.
hands, mate.
Please be
I'll
quiet,
see you
merchant. I'm
right.
trying to talk. Increased power by 1.5. Increased fire rate by
A
2. I don't know if I
well-tuned weapon
care.
Can make up for a lack of skill, friend.
We will do all of those. Let's start by we sell some stuff. We just sell this for now.
A deal well struck.
And we got to start placing. We'll start placing some things soon. Trade. Is there anything new here? Chalice of Atonement. So yeah, that's something we'll want because
Back
we'll
is killing me.
inlay with gemstones to sell for
I knew
money.
you'd choose that one.
And we're still 15 away from an upgrade ticket, so we'll do some tune-ups though. We pistol remains our best friend,
Molding a
so
weapon to suit yours. Try that on for size.
shotgun I could consider. We've just been so low on shotgun
If you
ammo.
want a fighting chance out there, you best tune up your kit.
We've been so low on shotgun ammo. I'm kind of a little disincentivized from upgrading that compared to
This kind of work is about finesse, stranger. Will it come back anytime?
we'll have a bunch more like capacity to do things with that soon. But first, let's go get our extra broken butterfly. I think it's... Do I have to unlock it from the back? Come on. I did. I should have done that. Oh. Living armor. Armor's coming alive, folks. Concerning state of affairs.
No problem.
One of my favorite enemies in the game. I love the way that they handled it too. In the original, you just do a bunch of damage to them, and eventually the parasite pops out. I love
It's
that in the
open.
remake they make it like more skill-based, and you have to aim to poke at the parasite. I'm sure if you just do general damage, it'll release them eventually, but still. Salazar family chronology. The Salazar family line has come to an end. In order to cure Ramon's sickness, his mother Catalina invited the devil into their home. Inscribed is a brief history of the members that solidified this prestigious bloodline. First generation, Count Gregorio the Conqueror. Gregorio led his men to eradicate the evil that befell the castle. Recognized for his bravery, he was awarded the title of Count and entrusted to keep the demons sealed for generations to come. Second generation, Count Hippolito, the Sealer. With great effort, Hippolito sealed away the plague of demons that emerged from the depths of the earth. He succumbed to wounds sustained in the battle. Third generation, Count Gregorio the Architect. Driven by irrational paranoia, Gregorio squandered his vast fortune on excessive castle defenses and strange, elaborate contraptions. Okay, so there's the fourth wall break explaining why the castle's weird the way it is. It is to actually keep the plagas in. Fourth generation, Count Jose Alonso, the Tranquil Alonso, endeavored to restore the family's honor. Fifth generation, Count Alejandro, the Lavish. Playful at heart, Alejandro had a courtyard and a ballroom erected before his untimely death. Sixth generation, Countess Maria Isabel, the Lady. Alejandro's widow, Countess Isabel, had a long reign before her death at age 90. Seventh generation, Count Diego the Severe. Similar to his predecessor, Diego was exceedingly strict. He was murdered at the hands of a devil. Eighth generation, Count Ramon. His illness should have taken him. That makes me kind of think that Sadler is the one who killed Diego in order to install Ramon as a puppet. So it's like Ramon... What do we got? Is it the... Oh, it's not the broken butterfly. Okay, it's a depraved idol. Okay, it's not the broken butterfly. Good, I'm glad we bought it then, and we can start upgrading it.
I wonder how much that's worth.
A lot, probably. Let's actually look at our treasure. We could start inlaying gems. So this, I think triple bonus is to our benefit, so we'll do 3 greens. We want double bonus for this. 2 yellows is our best, and then 2 of the same color, red, is our best for this. So I think we have a plan. So I think we will inlay yellow, yellow, inlay green, green, green. I think that's the best we can do. And then red, red. Duo bonus. I think that's also the best we can do. I'm sure I could look up a treasure guide online to know what our actual like optimal gem placement is. But for the time being, I think we're fine. We do need to unlock that still. I don't know what unlocks that. How strange. I wonder if the game will throw me back there. Well, for the time being, we don't need to go that way. We can come back from whence we came. And sell some stuff. And maybe upgrade the broken butterfly.
You gonna sell that thing you got?
Yeah.
Ooh, you have distinct welcome. Got a selection of good
Brave
things
title?
on sale, stranger.
Yeah, just for selling only.
Ruby's all rubbish. It makes no difference.
There we go.
Pleasant travels.
Oh, upgrade the broken
Welcome.
butterfly. Literally just said it. Damage upgrade
We're
is
starting to get an idea
most
of your
important by
tastes,
far.
friend.
I don't know if I really want to upgrade it further. I think that's fine for now. I don't care about... 1.5 is kind of boring. I guess they're all just increased power by
Your
1.5.
weapons
That's
are
kind
in
of boring.
good hands,
In
mate.
I'd
I'll
forgotten
see
that,
you
but
right.
in the original,
Don't get yourself killed now.
we talked about this briefly, but individual weapons had unique. Did we get all the treasure? We did. Okay. Individual weapons had unique upgrades. So here, another dog. Is he down? Hear a dog, but we don't need to go down there because there's no treasure. And now we reach the Great Hall. Beautiful location, one of the most beautiful in the game. Oh, and there's another merchant.
Must be this way.
Why not treat?
Blue medallions are a blemish, and I want them gone. Show them that we are not afraid and that we will not stand for this.
Yourself, mate.
Merchant next level upgrades. Got some news, mate. Recently procured high quality tools. Now I can even do more nasty upgrades. Okay, so that's noticing. That's had we not gone backwards. And we actually save over previous chapter 9. So
Welcome.
yeah, he doesn't have anything new as of showing up here.
Next.
And there's nothing, or is there something in this room? Oh, yeah, okay. We need our cube to open this.
Nothing but
We
the
could do
fine
another
trade.
shooting gallery. And there's also, so this is a path to something. So yeah, this is a multi-directional. This is like a multi-directional little section where we can we have to get different parts to a puzzle, as it were. Let's start by seeing what we get with our luck up front. Dr. Salvador Common, 20% rifle craft. Don't really care. I was thinking about this a little bit earlier. The gacha and the drops are 10% health recovery for green herbs is good. And I'm gonna save until we have more of each type. But the one thing I don't love about this mechanic, I don't know what the balancing option is, but here's the thing. Most of these aren't necessarily passives that you need to use in combat, right? And the reason that I bring that up is that the fact that you use them outside of combat creates a kind of irksome non-gameplay choice where, like, so like you like crafting is a crafting is something you don't necessarily have to do in combat, right? So like crafting is this thing that if you intentionally do it just when you are at a save point, you can intentionally just equip the crafting bonus ones at that point, craft, exhaust all of your crafting resources, and then switch your charms to charms that are actively useful, like the healing one we got, right? So there are some other charms that I remember either from my first playthrough or it either was from the first playthrough or maybe I saw somebody else playing it, but I know that one of them is a discount on repairs and like repairing your knife, I think, or repairing your armor. And that's cool, but again, it's like there's no reason to have that on your case all the time. It's like the merchant always has a save point with him, so you can always change when you arrive at the merchant, and it kind of just becomes busy work to swap out your charms, then repair, then swap out your charms again. I don't know what the resolution to that problem is, but I'm kind of inclined to we're going to do one round of this, by the way. We're not going to do multiple, but we'll do one more shooting round. And because I'm going to take a break in between my gameplay sessions, this is going to be the episode where I like sweep these in between play sessions. So first of all, I want to draw attention to Ashley sitting on the barrel to watch the game. It's extremely cute. It's like much more fun than her just kind of like disappearing or not being present during the shooting gallery, which is like what it was in the original game. But yeah, we'll do this in between, and I'll try to get everything possible. So we didn't get the red on this. We'll try. So we get TMP, we get riot gun, we get TMP and riot gun. Let's try the riot gun version, and we'll see how it goes.
You got this, Liam.
Pretty easy so far. I say. Oh, that's a problem. That's a problem too. I should have been more patient. Not great. Silver tokens. We'll do it one more time. Let's see if I can fix that mistake. Kill. Kill. I think I don't aim, yeah. Gotta wait. And then... Dang it. They popped. Okay, I can get this. We're doing it again. I can do this, everybody. This is why I want to do it off stream, though, because it's just like...
That was awesome.
If it's, you know... If it's going to be a bunch of this, you know... Okay, so I can't hit any of them. 100% obtained, but I have to get 9,000, so I can't hit any of the... Okay, we're not going to do... We'll do one. Let's try TMP. Why not? Oh, and I hit a soldier, or a sailor. Oh. I haven't seen any of the icons either. Oh, stupid double. Not good. Silver token. See, this is why I said I want to do this off stream, because I feel kind of like, not panicked, but you know, I'm like, I don't want to mess up on stream. Oh. Let's see, we'll do one more on that, because I think that I feel more readily capable of getting a perfect on this. I get the idea.
Are you serious?
Very good.
Shot.
It's a bullet bonanza.
Perfect.
Fire everything you've got.
Look at all of them. Now's your chance. Oh, that was awesome. Shot.
Nope. Oh, dang it. That's probably...
That's your lot.
That's it. Okay. 2 medals I missed, but... Oh, 4 medals I missed. Dang. But still, that's a bunch of unlocks. So we can do a couple more gotchas.
That was like something you'd see at the fair. It reminds me of being a kid.
Aw, thank you, Ashley. Yeah, this is why I'm going to do this stuff off stream, because I don't want to be stuck here for like an hour and you guys watching the same repetitive thing over and over again. Yeah, Viper recovery. I mean, some of these are like actively useful, but it's just kind of like, it feels like a non-gameplay choice to me in some regards. We got him before. Rifle ammo, craft bonus frequency, I think. How many charms do we have, actually? Is there a list everywhere? No? Okay. Up we go. I'm sure we can see it in the, we'll see it in the menu when we get up to the, typewriter. So yeah, this is a long chapter. There's going to be a lot for us. There's going to be a lot for us to cover, so I will split this up into a couple separate ones. We got 2 copies of Salvador. 2 copies of him, too. It's a bummer you can get doubles. I feel like... Anyway, we'll talk about that on another day. So this is a cool one. This is like one of my favorite parts of this game in general. There's like this whole sequence around the hall is like really fabulous. I think it's like a really nice thing, and you can approach it in a bunch of different orders, and we'll do a bunch of them all at once next time I'm available. I don't think it'll be tomorrow, like tomorrow being Tuesday. I think tomorrow, Tuesday, is going to be the day that I do the shooting gallery stuff. I'll certainly report back by the time we whenever next we're able to stream. Hopefully Wednesday night. You know, we have to do the rest of 9. Then it's 7 chapters left after that, and we are dwindling in our time. We've got just a little over 10 days left until Requiem launches. So we've got a whole 7.5 chapters to go, plus 7.5 chapters plus Separate Ways. Separate Ways might have to be something I like intentionally record elsewise. So we'll see how that goes. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. I hope you've been having fun. We're going to do this awkward thing where a black rectangle pops up on screen, and then I stop streaming because I don't have a hotkey set up to just stop streaming. So thanks so much for watching, everybody. We'll see you probably Wednesday. Take care. Bye-bye.